paragraph below, some words have been omitted. The words are written on the right, opposite the line they belong to. Find the correct place to insert each of the words. Mark the place with a slash and write the word on top. One has been done as an example. Moti Guj and Disha were good friends. Moti Guj means the pearl elephant which was the absolute property of his mahout. Disha, Moti Guj was the best of all elephants, but Disha was a foolish drunkard. He would get extremely drunk when he had made enough money through the strength of his elephant. He would then beat Moti Guj. The elephant, however, was very patient. He would never lose his temper because he knew that Disha would embrace his trunk and weep after he had beaten him. The words on the right are linkers. देखिए स्टूडेंट जो राइट साइड में वर्ड्स दिए हुए हैं ये लिंकर्स हैं. अब ए वर्ड विच ज्वाइंस सेंटेंसेस और क्लाउजेस इज कॉल्ड ए लिंकर. ऐसे वर्ड्स जो सेंटेंस को ज्वाइन करते हैं या क्लाउजेस को ज्वाइन करते हैं लिंकर कहलाते हैं. लिंकर्स ऑल्सो सो हर आइडियाज आर रिलेटेड. नेक्स्ट देखते हैं वर्कशीट 2. Work with your partner. Look at the linkers in the box below. Each linker expresses a meaning. Write each linker in the appropriate column in the table that follows. Some have been done as examples. Contrast, but, though, however, although. Students, यहाँ बॉक्स में हम लोगों को लिंकर्स दिए हैं. इसमें से हम लोगों को appropriate बॉक्स में लिखना है छाट कर. Reason, cause, result, because, then, after, therefore, so that. Time, when, since. Comparison, then, as, whereas. नेक्स्ट देखते हैं वर्कशीट 3. मिसेस पॉल इज क्वाइट फेड अप विद द कॉन्ट्रास्टिंग हैबिट्स एंड टेस्ट ऑफ हर चिल्ड्रन लीन एंड श्रे. One day she prepares a table to check what their habits and tastes are really like. This is what the chart reads. Mrs. Paul later writes a diary entry about her children's habits and tastes. Complete her diary entry by filling the blanks with appropriate linkers of contrast. Do not use one linker more than once. I wonder if every family has kids with such startlingly different habits and tastes as my kids have. When it comes to food, Lean is so fond of Indian food, but Shrey will have anything but that. Of course, boys and girls do differ in their hobbies and tastes for music, reading, etc. For instance, Shrey is very keen football player, whereas Lean prefers to spend time painting. Lean loves reading comics, though Shrey was wide collection of adventure stories. However, Shreya is not particular about clothes. He is like Lean when it comes to formal occasions. He has agreed to wear formals when it comes to outings. Lean looks forward to going to movies or picnics, although Shrey prefers to be with his friends. Next देखते हैं वर्कशीट 4. Look at the pairs of pictures given below. Write at least one sentence about each. Drawing a comparison between each pair of pictures. One has been done as an example. Eco-friendly, cheap, fast. A bicycle is more eco-friendly than a car. A car is faster than a bicycle. A bicycle is not as expensive as a car. Clean, modern. A greenhouse is cleaner than a modern house. A modern house is higher than a greenhouse. A greenhouse is not as comfortable as a modern house. Next है entertaining. Portable, popular. Television is more popular than tape recorder. A tape recorder is not as entertaining as television. A tape recorder is portable than television. Fat, tall. Thin, short. He is thinner than the fat boy. स्टूडेंट्स यहाँ डैट की जगह आप लोग दैन कर लीजिएगा. The boy is shorter than the tall boy. The boy is not as fat as the tall boy. Nutritious, safe, tasty. Coke is more tasty than milk. Milk is more nutritious than Coke. Drinking Coke is not as safe as milk. Ferocious, dangerous. Poisonous, dangerous. A lion is more ferocious than a snake. A snake is more poisonous than a lion. A snake is not so dangerous as a lion. Next देखते हैं वर्कशीट 5. The odd man out. Work with your partner. Look at the groups of words, each of which contains an odd man out. Write down the word which you think is the odd man out and write the reason why it is odd. Use different linkers to give your reason. One has been done as an example. Horse, cow, mouse, knife, lion. Odd one out, knife. Why? Knife is a thing whereas the others are animals. June, January, March, Spring, May. Odd one out, spring. Why? Since spring is not a month, it's the odd one out. Plate, bean, soup, sandwich, apple. Odd one out, plate. Why? Since plate is not a color, it's the odd one out. Green, big, orange, red. Odd one out, big. Why? Since big is not a color, it's the odd one out. Paris, New Delhi, London, New York, Colombo. Odd one out, New Delhi. Why? Since New Delhi is not in abroad, it's the odd one out. Bicycle, bus, car, motorcycle, truck. Odd one out, bicycle. Why? Since bicycle does not run on petrol or diesel, it's the odd one out. Father, sister, brother, never, grandfather. Odd one out, never. Why? Since never is not a family member, it's the odd one out. Tea, coffee, coke, bun, lemonade. Odd one out, bun. Why? Since bun is not a drink, it's the odd one out. Next देखते हैं वर्कशीट 6. Read the paragraph below, filling the blanks with appropriate linkers indicating time. The children had been enjoying the bright sunshine on the beach when all of a sudden it became very cloudy and dark. After about 15 minutes, it began to thunder. Then they looked up. They could see lightning in the sky. This was quite unexpected. It had been sunny since the work began, and there were no signs of rain. Frightened, they all rushed towards their school bus. They felt safe when they had gone inside. Worksheet 7. Look at the map below. Imagine you are Sital, who lives in house number 13 on Park Avenue Street. Your friend is at the post office in your locality. She calls you up to ask for instruction to reach your house. Complete the following instructions that you have heard by filling in the blanks with suitable linkers of time. देख लीजिए स्टूडेंट्स. नेक्स्ट है reaching my house is quite simple. Step onto the Banker's Street and look straight ahead. You will see the Rose Lane. Cross the Banker's Street and walk along the Rose Lane. When you have walked about 100 yards, you will reach a crossing. When you reach the crossing, turn right. Keep walking ahead even after you cross the bank on your right. Walk about 50 yards. There you will notice a row of houses on the left. House number 13 is mine. 8. Imagine the editor of your school magazines has asked you to write an article for the school magazine on the topic teenagers, their habits and hobbies. You have made a survey and collected the following data. Based on the data, write an article comparing and contrasting the habits and preferences that exist among teenage boys and girls. Give reasons for their choice. Fair draft. Girls play 6 hours per week, but boys play 14 hours per week. Girls read for 6 hours per week, whereas boys read 6 hours per week. Girls view TV for 12 hours per week, whereas boys view TV for 10 hours per week. Boys study for not more than 12 hours per week as compared to girls who study for 18 hours per week. Girls remain engaged in their hobbies for 9 hours per week, though boys carry it on for 7 hours per week. नेक्स्ट देखते हैं वर्कशीट 9. रीड द फॉलोइंग सेंटेंसेस. नोट द यूज ऑफ द कॉमा. आई बाउट ए फैट feathery parrot. I made a big brown mountain. Commas are placed between two adjectives when they describe the same noun, and the word and can be put between the adjectives without changing the meaning. In the sentences given below, place a comma where it is required. Sally is an adorable cute kid. He lives in a beautiful palatial house. Students देख लीजिए कॉमा कहाँ लगेंगे. We are organizing a huge Sunday get together. He is very fond of roasted chicken sandwich. नेक्स्ट देखते हैं. The children admire grandpa's gentle, patient and forgiving attitude. He looked comical in his battered straw hat. The children wandered into the thick dark forest. Do it yourself. The following passage is incomplete. Fill in the blanks to make meaningful sentences. One has been done for you. Saransh was nervous because he knew he was in trouble. He wished for a way out, but there was not any when the school was over. He had stayed back in the computer lab to play games. He had lied to the lab assistant that he had the teacher's permission, but the teacher had told him to leave for home immediately. When the lab assistant discovered his lie, he reported the matter to the principal. Although Saransh apologized many a time, the principal was not convinced. He wanted to punish him. He asked him to come with his parents to school the next day so that they could be told about Saransh's indisciplines. Saransh felt miserable. There seemed no way out. So he kept thinking of ways to get out of the situation. Next देखते हैं. In the following passage there is one word missing in each line. Put a slash where you think the word is missing and write the missing word in the space provided. One has been done as an example. I will let you go, but you will have to do something for me. When I left for London, I decided to keep my jewels in the bank. I left them here in the safe, but I wanted to wear them to a party. I have forgotten the key in London, so I want you to open the safe. You know that it's unsafe to wear jewels at night when one is alone, but I still feel compelled to do so. The only way you can leave is that you open the safe. स्टूडेंट्स इसी के साथ हम लोगों का सॉल्यूशन वीडियो कंप्लीट हो गया. यदि आपको वीडियो अच्छा लगा तो वीडियो को लाइक कर दीजिए, और यदि आप मेरे चैनल पे नए हैं तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करके बेल आइकन को प्रेस करके ऑल पे प्रेस कर लीजिए, क्योंकि मैं आपके लिए ऐसे एजुकेशन वीडियोस लाती रहती हूँ. स्टूडेंट्स यदि आप किसी और चैप्टर का एक्सप्लेनेशन या सॉल्यूशन वीडियो चाहते हैं तो नीचे कमेंट बॉक्स में कमेंट कर दीजिए, और वीडियो कैसा लगा कमेंट करके ज़रूर बताइएगा. थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग.